I can doubt my capabilities a lot.
Describe to your parents what you did today at school, or
To facilitate a room and like have control, not in a control way of like having control of people, more like have control of myself.
and now like this gonna be me. I think that's something the school is actually really good at.
It's more like not the honeymoon phase anymore.
Hi, welcome to another episode of the Pilot Podcast. I am Helga, and I am the host of today's episode. I am from Iceland, and I am a first-year student at the KAOSPILOT. And today I am sitting with my very good friend, DISA, who is also a first-year student, also from Iceland. And we've known each other for quite some time now. We actually just talked about it like a few weeks ago, that counting, and it was like 7 years.
Yes.
Wow. It's quite cute.
Yeah, very cute.
And now we're both living here together. And maybe we'll start by like time traveling all the way back to January, 22? 1.5 years for almost.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yes. It was me and you in a swimming pool in Iceland.
Yeah.
With lots of warm geothermal water and nice conversations, and then I think I asked you, or maybe you asked me, what are you gonna do next year?
Yeah.
What's your plan? And then you said, well, I'm thinking of applying to the KAOSPILOT. And then I said, what? I'm also gonna apply to the KAOSPILOT.
And it was quite a coincidence also because
Yeah.
KAOSPILOT isn't really that known in Iceland at all. I think maybe we had mentioned that we both knew about it before, but it was still very much a coincidence.
Yeah.
A good one.
Yeah. A very good one.
Very good one.
Yeah, very funny and nice.
Yeah. How does it feel like for you to think that we're almost done with our first year?
When we had just, now that we just zoomed back in time, suddenly feels such a long time ago that we sat in that swimming pool.
Yeah.
Also because then we weren't even in, we hadn't done anything, so it was just an idea, and it was just a really lovely idea that we would both maybe get in. And then after that came that weird part of us kind of applying, and then kind of like, did you get the letter?
Did you
get it? I got the letter. Did you get it? I got it. I also got it.
Nobody dared to ask.
Yeah, exactly. It was like always like 3 hours after we got each mail that we were like, did you get something in the mail?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it seems like a very long time ago, but it feels, surreal, but really good, because when you look at it from afar, you kind of remember that you've actually learned a lot.
That's true. And like, the way we talk about also KAOSPILOT time, like there's so much that happens in like, even in just one day, sometimes it feels like many days, or can feel like that. And usually in good ways, because there's so many experiences. And I think that's probably why we also feel like it's such a long time ago, because there's been so many new experiences.
Exactly.
And new impressions, and like, developments, both like for us individually, also for our friendship, which has been really beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah. Like moving to another country and having to navigate in that setting, as well as navigating in the inner. Yeah.
The inner kind of journey as well of all that. Yeah. Do you remember how you felt the first day
of school?
Yeah.
Of school? Danish.
English.
English. No, of school. Icelandic accent of school. No, actually. Whoa. What happened to the first day of school?
Yeah.
I remember very clearly all the outfits. We were welcomed. No. Yes.
We can't disclose too much about that.
No.
In case there's someone who's going to apply later. Or maybe it's better not to.
Yeah.
But it was a really lovely day. And we were very welcomed, but also
overwhelming,
confusing and overwhelming.
Yes, I think so.
Yeah.
In a very lovely, like a deranged sort of way. I remember I went to bed. Yeah. but it is interesting that I just said it in the midst of, like, I remember what I was wearing because
First thing.
I thought about my outfit a lot. It's like, then somebody asked me, did you like plan your outfit? I was like, no. And I didn't think about it actually at all. Just threw something on. Yeah.
Yeah, because you also want, like, you're entering a room with, I don't know, a little bit under 40 people who are going to be your classmates for the next 3 years in this very, like, intimate education. And of course, you really, really want them to like you. I think that's a very, like, normal human, wish or longing, desire. You want to be liked and accepted to the group.
Yeah.
So for some people, that can be like, I will have my nicest outfit on.
Yeah, exactly.
Put on my biggest smile.
Yeah. Interesting. I was actually thinking about like our relationship in all of this now that we were talking about it. And because it's really overwhelming to start the school, and we just talked about that it's hard, but we also kind of had each other in a way. But because I was thinking about the application workshop, and I remember that we kind of just like, not just, we kind of talked about that we were not going to talk to each other in the application workshop.
I have totally forgotten about that.
We were like, we can't like show them that we know each other because then maybe we won't get in or something.
Oh,
so like every time we started talking, we were like, wait, no.
We were so afraid that, like, because we were friends and maybe we, I would say in many ways we're very different, but we also share some of the same qualities.
Exactly.
So maybe we were a little bit afraid that, like, they're not going to need two of us on this team.
Two of us. And if they know that we know each other, then they're never going to let us both in.
Yeah.
But I also kind of remember it in a way that we were trying to not build a safety net between us.
Yeah.
So like...
also trying to challenge ourselves to...
exactly.
Yeah, say hi to someone else and... Yeah, meet some other people.
Yeah.
Stand on our own feet, maybe.
Yeah. How do you feel that has been over this year, maybe? Or like since then and then now? This,
like our friendship, or like how...
Maybe in the sense of like the safety net. Or kind of like how that has played a role or not, or has that... Yeah.
I think like, as we just mentioned, like it can be so overwhelming and chaotic, and maybe I don't know. I mean, everyone has their own individual experience, but I think for me, and I think I assume also for you, like the first semester was so like trying to land, trying to get your feet on the ground. It like you're kind of standing in this whirlwind of the first semester and kind of just really trying to stick your head out for some air, and you don't know where to go or like where the window is. So I think like especially in the first semester, I was really glad to have you here and like have your support. And I think that also just speaks into like something that we got advised on our first week. Our team got advice from the second year students to like try to, because it can be so hard to communicate what's going on in the school, or like describe to your parents what you did today at school or what your project is about, or like it can feel quite abstract sometimes.
Yeah.
And like the recommendation sometimes, a lot of the time.
All the time.
The recommendation was to like really, for our own sake, like try to communicate it or try to keep our support network updated on our lives in KAOSPILOT in the school or in Aarhus if we were not from Aarhus, and try to kind of keep it up to date so that we could reach for support, because it is so important to have support to go to sometimes that is not the school, because the school can be, at least for, the school has such a big community, which is so great, but that also means that like sometimes your whole like day is just KAOSPILOT. It's like going to school from 9 to 4 and then social interactions or projects in the afternoon and the evening, and then like from when you wake up and when you go to bed, it's the KAOSPILOT life. And sometimes it can be so like important to be able to reach for support somewhere else, or to someone who knows you from beforehand, at least. And there I felt like, yeah, in that sense, I was so happy and like much more happier that you were there than I ever had to could have realized on beforehand. Like in the summer, I was like, yeah, it's really nice. This stuff's going. Like, chill. Just gonna do our thing. And like give each other space, which we also did and have done, I think. Something we've been quite, I hope, good at. I think so. Been quite good at.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
Giving space for it also.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was just thinking actually on my way here, I was thinking about this, like what you're saying, how actually very privileged we have been to have had this like piece of home with us as a foreign student, because it's been hard being a foreign student, and we know each other and we speak the language because
the Danish language.
Because we have both lived here for a few months before.
Yeah, we had learned it.
Yeah. So I just became really grateful for that privilege, and also maybe like had a neither want to kind of use it or kind of, I don't know. Like first I felt a bit ashamed. Then I'm like, okay, now I'm going to this podcast and talk about my privileged life as a foreign student. I felt really like, oh wait.
I get what you mean. It's like talking about being an international student, and like it can have so many challenges, but also being aware that there have been some things that have also made it a little bit easier for us.
Yeah.
But it is quite hard. But with that being said, I think we also talked about this during the application workshop week. Like, it's hard and it's challenging, but it's not impossible at all. And like, we really want to emphasize that. Like, we kind of talked about like, would we have wanted to know how challenging it was, all of the practical things and like things with, getting the student grant from the Danish state and like getting a job and all of things for
citizenship. And no, not
moving places. Also, like for some people, a part of the KAOSPILOT life is also being homeless or moving around. Not being homeless, but like homeless in periods.
Yeah,
and switching homes, and kind of not maybe having like one specific place. So all of this, like, would we have wanted to know how challenging it can be? Or was it better to just take the first step and then you see, okay, you take the next step, like one day at a time? Yeah, but I think, both have pros and cons, but just with us talking about that it's been hard, it's just, like we talked about, also really important that say that it's also doable.
It's doable, and I mean, you remember, like, I didn't have a place to sleep the first night I got here. And then I figured it out. I figured it out. But then we came to school the first day, and you didn't really have a place to stay either.
No.
So we kind of just raised our hands and were like, hey, we're kind of homeless, or we don't have a place to stay tonight.
Yeah.
Does anybody know anything, or can somebody offer us help? And there were so many people from our team that came to us and were like, I have an extra bed, or I have a sofa. Me and my boyfriend could sleep together at his place. Or just so
quite overwhelming, actually. So many good responses.
We were like, well, we can't sleep everywhere. And then there were actually more people in the class that also didn't have a place to stay at that time. And then the three of us two and another person ended up sleeping in a kolonihave, which is like a summer house.
Yeah, a small summer house in the city. Yeah, I remember that. I think maybe that's actually a really fond memory, because I think that's the first memory I have of like how strong the KAOSPILOT community can feel.
Exactly.
And like all of the goodwill in it, and what can be achieved, like when people come together and want to support each other. Yeah, I think that was definitely the first encounter, and I felt so overwhelmed. I was like, in all the good ways, I was like, wow, all of these people just want us to have a place to sleep tonight. It's just like, it sounds very simple, but it was quite beautiful.
Very beautiful.
And I think maybe that's also like something we've practiced in, and something to remember is like reaching out. Like sometimes you're like, oh, I'll just figure it out by myself. Like I will just move all of my things. Like I'm gonna move apartment on Sunday. I'll just move all of my things alone.
I could do it.
Yes,
I could not do it.
Oh, she could have not.
She couldn't do that.
It's DISA. It's a story.
Yeah,
DISA.
Didn't do it. Okay, cool.
No, but then like reaching out and like seeing how much easier things can become when you reach out and like get some extra hands, or like people are willing to support, like if they have the chance to, they want to, usually, like most cases. So that's something that's really been a practice, but and probably we will keep on practicing. And maybe it's a recommendation for those who maybe are future KAOS pilots who are listening. Remember to reach out.
There's to ask for help.
There's to ask for help. Also before, like if you have any questions, like there's so many students who are willing to answer them, and a lot of international students as well who've been to exactly the same troubles as everyone who will be coming in the next couple of years.
Yeah.
So we can help each other out.
I was also thinking about another thing.
Okay.
And that is maybe a little bit more vulnerable. That is okay with you?
I like that.
Okay. I was just thinking about how it has been for you, and then also maybe me, to kind of juggle that we were friends beforehand, but then also making new friends. And then kind of balancing, because you said that we were very good at giving space, but also being there for each other before. And that kind of awoke something of that, like, how has it been for us?
I think maybe it's a balance in between like the people we are, me and you, and also some of the things that we learn and experience in the school that comes to like communication and a lot of different practices around that, where like I feel like from the start we've been quite good at airing out like all of the negative feelings as well. Maybe that's something that we could even do more at school, but something that we've been quite try to do between the two of us, like, because it's so natural, this thing with jealousy, for example, like, and kind of, what do you say, like competition, or like comparing, maybe. Comparing, like comparing yourself to someone you know, like, and if you feel like you're entering from the same place, and then like seeing you maybe making a lot of friends in the first weeks, and me feeling, I don't remember if it was like that, but like in theory. And then it's not what it really should be.
Oh.
She's super popular. But for example, that like, it's so natural that there can come so many different emotions from that. Like, why are you making more friends than me? Or like, why am I not doing it good enough? Or like, will I also make friends? Like, I'm just taking this example now, but it has, it's so natural that those emotions come out, but it's been so helpful for us to just address them. Yeah. And I think because of that, like, they've never really had any like significant weight. Not really, that like they haven't had the chance to grow that much, because then we've addressed them and been like, and talked about them. Not because we needed to solve the problem.
No.
Or like,
just in the name of radical honesty.
Yeah. Just addressing it and airing it.
Yeah.
Maybe also something that you are actually really good at. Something I've learned a lot from you.
Simple steady.
Yeah. But it talks a lot about radical honesty, and maybe some of the conflict and tension workshop we had last week.
Oh, I wasn't there.
Ah, yeah. Missed out.
Yeah.
But what has, if you like, think back, if we step a little bit besides our friendship, like, what has surprised you the most about maybe either in the school or like yourself within the school in this past months since starting?
What has surprised me the most in myself?
Yeah, does it make sense? It's a little bit weirdly formulated question.
No, I think maybe what I hear from it is, what has maybe, I can repeat again, what has surprised myself the most. Yeah. Maybe a development, or maybe some side of me that has maybe come out that I didn't know about,
or maybe something something like that.
I think I I don't think I just read my application again.
I also just did that.
You did that
2 days ago.
it was so beautiful because I remember when I applied, I was so like unhappy with my application, and I didn't think I would get in because I thought it was not nice, but it was so like beautifully earnest, like authentic and sincere, and maybe a little bit naive, but really like beautiful, and maybe and I just read it, and I just want to hug myself, and it was really nice. But I talked in, there was like a paragraph in that written application, that I said that I had been an unsure adult or something like that, because I can doubt my capabilities a lot, and compare myself to other people that have nice, good, strong capabilities, and then maybe think I'm not comparable to that. And I think what has surprised me, like recently, is that I've actually begun to believe in my capabilities a bit, or some, and like I've been in a room where I was like, yeah, I got this. Yeah, like to facilitate a room and like have control, not in a control way of like having control of people. Yeah, you do this now. More like have control of myself and have like trust. It's more trust than control. Like trust in that I got this. Yeah, and that has surprised me because I just read my application, which was another thing.
That's really beautiful.
Yeah,
I can also really relate to that actually.
Yeah,
I think that's something the school is actually really good at. It's good at like pointing out, or like through some of the things we learn and like things we do. It's good at like mapping out what your skills are. Like the school doesn't do that; you do that in the school. It's just clarifying. But yeah, this kind of
the school takes you, and then he maps out what you are good at, what you are lacking, and then he gives it back to you, and then you fix it. Yes, that is what the school is about, actually.
I mean, we know what I mean.
Yeah.
We get the opportunity to like map out and think about, be much more aware about like what it is we're good at, where our strong suits lie, and like how we can use them maybe. Like sometimes you also know that you're good at something, but you're not exactly sure how you can use it more deliberately or like to your advantage, how you can describe it to, for example, like a job interview or something like really that needs it concrete, like you're good at, you get it. And I think that's in some ways like the school is really good at that, like emphasizing what your strong suits are and getting you to see them and believe in them through so many different things. Like I don't know what it is they do, but I think that's like a general. My assumption is that everybody will walk out of the school a little bit stronger individuals and like at least believing in themselves 10% more if they didn't. Be now, but you say evenly? No. Like that you will walk out believing more in yourself, like no matter how much you did in the start. Maybe you also walked into the school and like was like, no, I got this, I know my skills. I don't know, but I think still you will enhance it in some way. Then you will unlearn and learn something new.
Yeah. I think it's a little bit about like you're constantly proving yourself wrong.
Yeah.
So you're constantly proving your like your what's it called?
Insecurity.
You're constantly proving your insecurities wrong.
We're getting the trilingual brain tape. This is me and DISA speaking Icelandic, Danish, and English like every day, and circling the 3, and it sometimes gets really hard to remember like specific words in specific language.
Yeah,
but sorry,
it's okay. It was good that you pointed it out. It's been interesting, and the thing about Icelandic is really fun. Also because it's an English school, very inclusive. We speak English all the time, and then sometimes we're like a little Icelandic elves saying like, "Hvert var að gera á morgun?" Ég veit ekki, ég bara að gera þetta. Yeah.
That was Icelandic elf language.
Yes.
But you were saying something about insecurities.
Yeah, I was just saying that proving your insecurity is wrong. If that makes sense in a way that that you have a certain assumption about yourself, maybe it's an insecurity, and then you are in a situation where you actually weren't like that because you're pushed or you push yourself or you learn something new or something like that. So you're kind of like, you can't believe in the old assumption because there's constantly coming situations where, But again, I think it's not dangerous, but it's hard to say you as in like everybody. But maybe there's something
from us.
Something that I have experienced that might have something to do that I have the words "prove yourself wrong" and like a little box on my lock screen.
You do?
Yeah, on my home screen. It was actually, I need to credit, I don't remember who said it, but there was some person in the start of the KAOSPILOT who said that to me.
Okay.
Prove yourself wrong or something like that.
Do you think it was one of our team leaders?
No, I think it was a student.
Okay.
One of the students from the second or third year. If you're out there, give yourself credit. I don't remember who it was.
I also remember like a lot in the start. I really listened to everything the second and third year students was like, wow, they know so much. And now like it's gonna be me like next year. Something. Yeah, they're also just people.
Yeah,
but I mean, people can also say really, really amazing things sometimes.
For real.
For real.
Yeah, it's you do learn a lot. So I mean, wouldn't you have some good advice for your September self?
Yeah, probably. Yeah,
but it is also a balance of like giving advice when it's not asked for. I guess when the students from the next team come, and then I think it's going to be a balance of giving them advice when they don't want it. Sometimes
it's also something we've talked about.
Yeah,
so something probably we will be extra aware of. So we'll see how that will play out. Yeah. If we'll be able to do it in a balanced way.
Yeah.
Sweet. What about okay? You lived in Denmark before you studied at KB.
Yeah.
KAOSPILOT.
Yes.
But is there something about Danish culture that like, we're like, what? What is this? Why do you do that? I was asked this question like a few days ago, and I know I've had this like moment a few times where I'm like, why do you do that?
Yeah,
that's really weird. But I couldn't think of anything.
It's so weird that you say that, but the first thing that pops into my head is I don't remember the name. It's the sausage thing that is in a roll. Have you seen that? It's like a sausage in a roll. It's so nasty. I don't think it's something everybody eats, but I've been shown pictures of like a grey sausage in a roll.
Oh, it's like this kind of old food.
Yeah.
It looks like really
nasty.
It looks nasty.
But also because I'm vegetarian, so it's like extra nasty. Yeah. But so I don't want to.
Okay.
I mean, food is something that you need to show respect. I've learned this over the years because I've been the person who says "ew" or like "ew" over foods like the rolling sausage. But that was the first picture that popped into my mind.
Okay.
After the last time I was like, why do you do this? Food, I think a lot was something that maybe not why you do this, but it was different from my own food.
Which is funny because Iceland is so close to Denmark, or like in so many ways.
Yeah,
it's probably the closest. Like Scandinavia is probably the closest food we have.
Yeah,
in some ways. Still, we're like, what?
But do you have like when you had this conversation, did you find something else?
No, I didn't. And I think that's like a sign of like that. I feel like I've been here so long that I've forgotten what I think is weird with the culture, because I remember having moments in the start of like August, September after just having moved here where I was like, what? Why is it like this? Like being really shocked over some small weird things.
Yeah. But what about positively shocked?
I have word for that actually.
Yeah.
I think there's something positively shocked. I would say like there's something about the now this is also really generalizing, but in my experience, something about the like collective energy somehow that I feel like exists here. Like there's something in Denmark maybe it's because it's such a rich county or like well supported by, the welfare state, something like that. But like it has allowed so many like projects from young people. Like there's so many things that kind of rise and grow. Like some of them live on, but some of them also are just like rise and grow and then degenerate and rise and grow again. But that's something that I at least had not seen or heard of that much before. Not in Iceland, and now I've lived a little bit in France as well, and like I had not seen it there at all either. I think that's something really special about the culture, that there's space for people to make their own projects or like make their ideas come to life. If it's like a music collective or a band or like a artist collective, or if it's because you really want to put more plants in your town, or like whatever it is, I feel like there's some like foundation for that culture to thrive a little bit.
Yeah, there's capacity.
Yeah, I think that's really beautiful.
Yeah, and especially in Aarhus, I think Aarhus commune supports young people.
Yeah,
so there's
they try to.
They try to. Yeah. It's not perfect, obviously, and there always could be more. But maybe we can just compare it to Iceland without shitting on Reykjavik. I don't think that Reykjavik supports young people in cultural projects as much. So I can stand behind that and say there was also like wow, that's really cool.
Yeah.
Well, you all just got funding to open this voluntary communal space for.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So beautiful.
Very beautiful.
How's it been to like? Now we've had a lot of like team days the last few weeks, where at least I have like been thinking a lot about like our team and how it has developed over the first year. Can you also see like changes from like first semester to second semester, and
definitely
also throughout those?
Yeah, I guess it would be very odd if there had not been any change, but it is maybe not odd, or it's grateful that it is positive change.
Yeah,
I think it starts in a very like kind of giddy, almost fake happiness, and best friend the honeymoon phase, forming phase, which is lovely, but it's not as authentic. And then maybe you go down into a little bit of a winter phase where it's more like not the honeymoon phase anymore, and like everything's cold and dark, and you realize of all the problems or things emerge that you had not seen or chosen not to see in the start. And then we have kind of come into a spring, like a literal and the cyclical spring of kind of working through that, and maybe are in a more, while we're talking about radical honesty space, and thinking also just more clarity on like that this is a team-based education, so the team is of the essence, and it is at its core.
Yeah.
So I think giving that importance.
Yeah. And how much you learn from the team as well.
Exactly.
Being in it.
Yeah. Learn from each other.
Yeah.
By reflecting on each other, and also. Yeah.
It's a lot of value in that.
Definitely.
Yeah. If there's someone listening who's thinking about applying to KAOSPILOTS or has had it in the back of their minds, do you have something to say to them?
I think it's something that's
choose your words wisely.
Yeah, exactly. I'm trying to do it because my first one was just like, go for it.
Yeah.
Kind of very on the superficial answer to that question. But I think it's just about, this is a really hard question. We cut this out, right?
maybe not.
No, because I'm thinking about this, like, I have the knowledge of there's so many different people, and I don't think there's one answer to give all those different people.
But maybe that's the answer.
Yeah. So I'm like, there's one thing, there's just like trust that this is going to be what it needs to be for you, because that is something that I trust, and I have a deep trust in.
Yeah.
KAOSPILOTS on myself and where I am in this journey. And that sounds very maybe corny, but I have the trust. But I know not everybody has that trust, and that is so normal and okay. So I just don't want to give advice. Hey, trust the process. Trust that it's going to be okay, because maybe people need something else. But I just think that if you're sitting with a doubt and if this is the right thing for you, then I can't say anything other than that you need to figure that out.
Maybe it's also like if people are doubting if it's something for them, then because we both know, at least from us too, the website can be a little bit confusing sometimes, or like you can get some information from it, but you're also probably not gonna know what it means.
But that is
that is life. That is KAOSPILOT.
That's KAOSPILOT.
But maybe it could be to reach out, or like if you're curious, you could reach out. Like people come and join lectures sometimes, or like during a school day, to get a feeling of it. Like if it feels like something for them. Maybe that's also like speaking for me. Like for me, it was so much a feeling. So, and like it was a feeling even though I hadn't come to the school before. But I think reaching out, asking questions, being able to come on a visit, like, or even just applying and coming to the workshop, because the workshop is also application workshop. It's also for people to see what the school can be. Well, it can look like.
It's a date.
It's a date with school. That's a good
where you have to both see if you're the right match.
Yeah.
And maybe you are, maybe you aren't.
Yeah.
But reach out is a very nice advice. Thank you for supporting me in that.
Of course.
Yeah. And if you or maybe have a hard time in that, that's also understandable. But sometimes it can be in a subtle way. It can be a message or one question, or
it could also just be a mail to the school.
It can also be a mail to the
school. They will reach out to us and connect us together, or like the students and the curious student may become upcoming students.
But the people are here, like you said in the start. Now we're going full circle to the start. The people are here. The community wants to help, and I think I would say believe that. And wow, it's a full circle moment. Trust that like people want to help. Try it out.
Yeah,
I think so.
I think our conversation has come to an end. Thanks for joining me for the podcast.
It was really nice. Yeah, it was really nice to be here and talking to you, Helga.
Official platform on one of the unofficial platforms.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for this conversation.
Thank you.
That was it for today's episode. Thank you for watching or listening. And until next time.